All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the TimingResearch.com crowd forecast news for February 24th, 2025. We are recording this at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This is our uh, new time. I've been hosting this show for over 10 years now, and for the most part, we've been doing this at 1 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday, but recently tried a few evening shows and they worked out pretty well. So I think we're going to switch to this new 7 p.m. Eastern time for at least a couple months and see how that goes. Um, so if you have any, if you like this time better, or if you like the other time better, or if you have any other feedback, be sure to contact me and let me know what you think. So this is episode number 467. And today I've arranged for Anka Metcalf of Trade Out Loud to join us again. And the option professor is back to moderate. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him.
Okay, thank you, David, and thanks everybody for being here. We are going to go over a lot of information, and the markets did break down a little bit today, but we're going to find out if that breakdown could lead to an acceleration to the downside, and we're going to talk about if, in fact, by Friday and Thursday, after Nvidia comes out, if we're going to be back on the bicycle. So Anka Metcalf is with us here, and she's going to give us her insights. Also, at the end of the broadcast, she'll be explaining how you can get a hold of her and how she can help you with your trading. So without further ado, Anka, let's look at that S&P 500 and let's get an idea of what you're thinking.
Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Okay. So I think it's going to be a very difficult week to trade. And I think that we are going to pretty much forecast for the unexpected. We have data that is coming later on this week. We have the GDP numbers and we have some other data towards the end of the week that may impact price action. And I think that things are going to look pretty choppy until we get everything out of the way. We have a mega event tomorrow, the Apple shareholders meeting. We
Right.
have Nvidia earnings, which
Mm-hmm.
is on Wednesday after the market closes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the market is going to be pretty spooked until then. Plus, we have the tariffs, which we don't know how the market is going to react when they become effective. But all in all, getting back to our regular price action. So all I could say about the SPX is that it's back into support. It's revisiting a prior high from November 8th. And that's pretty interesting. However, today, for the first time in a really long time, it closed again below the 50 SMA. And this time around, it's a red bar. We had an attempt to break the 50 SMA on February 3rd, but we closed borderline. So we closed a little bit into the 50 SMA, and the price action picked up from there, rotated, went a little bit higher, then it went back into the 50 and just established a new high here. This is a peakable high now. And the price action didn't have a lot to go on to break above this all-time high. So it started pulling back. Everything is, back into the fear and definitely investors and traders. I think they're waiting for a lot more clues from the market. I think that what really spooked the market was the FOMC meeting here that was on December 18th. This is what really spooked the market. And from this point on, this is the biggest significant pullback that we had in the market in a really long time. And in fact, the size of this bar is gigantic in comparison to all the price action that we have to the left-hand side. So we definitely noticed the volatility start here kick in. It was towards the end of I would say mid-December. And right now the price action, like I said, it's sitting on a little bit of support. So I'm going to give you my take on it. I think that if it takes out tomorrow's high, so if we start moving just above, because today we didn't really have I would say a really huge down day in the SPY. I think that was more concerning was the Qs were NASDAQ futures, but I think that the SPYs were pretty conservative in the pullback. They still maintain support zone. So if tomorrow it breaks over 43, 45, I think the price action is going to start moving back to the upside. However, if the price is going to break below today's low, into the 70s, I think that the price is really ready to take on a new low, and it may pull back to the 59.29 zone, maybe even lower.
Yeah.
Back
The
into
main
this
thing is
area.
the consumer obviously looks like he's putting away his checkbook a little bit. The retail sales, the home
Yeah.
sales, the all the way across the board. And they got delinquencies rising on $1.2 trillion of credit cards. And there's a lot of
Mhm.
unknowns out there, and people are getting a little bit freaky. And when they get freaky, they stop spending. And when they stop spending, boys, they're trouble.
Yeah,
Microsoft also pulled back a couple of those data centers, which obviously puts the AI story in a little bit of a different light.
it's
And
true.
and then, of course, Nvidia, if they come out and are cautious at all about the rollout of the Blackwell platform launch, that would be really problematic. I thought Nvidia would be taking off, but the action today was certainly a little bit soft.
Was very soft ahead of earnings,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was, it showed the instability of price action and traders really giving up on it. And I think that most part, the selling was just profit taking from early dip buyers. Beginning of February, they had a really nice run, and I think they're just locking in some profits ahead of earnings.
yeah. I mean, that's I got very active on it at 115 because I had a 250-day moving average that came in right there. And when it hits that 250,
Yeah.
if it's a good stock like it hit it on Tesla last year at 220, when you get
Hmm.
these big companies against the gold line that I've got, it's really a bargain. So I got a nice bounce, 115 to 145, but
Perfect.
I didn't think it was going to come back to 130. And like I
Nope.
say, if we start taking out 130 and then you ever take out 115, it's going to be Timber City. And it would only have to make sense that somebody's pulling back an order.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that tomorrow's price action is going to be telling. We had a little bit more fear into the market right now, and it's seen throughout the board. Like everything was pretty much red. Well, except for gold, but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
everything was pretty red. Like if we go through the S&P 500 list here, we see more red than green. I mean, there are, some stocks here and there, but these were mostly on their own. But the majority of the market was pretty much into the red, and I mean deep red with almost 7%, 5%. I mean, these are really big numbers to the downside. Like Micron again. Micron cannot lift off the bottom, and I see a lot of traders, yeah, they go like,
I,
yes, we're buying the bottom. It's like the
yeah,
stock is obviously stuck below this 200 SMA. It's like literally a freaking lid.
yeah, it is. And also,
Yeah,
it's part of the story of maybe the
yeah,
confidence in the AI story is coming out a little bit.
yeah,
Um, like I say, well, you got a lot of changes going on in the government with unknown results, and you've got France as one guy running part of it, and the ladies running part of it, and the German guys got a bunch of split things going on. So the entire
yeah.
planet, outside of the dictatorships in China, Turkey, and Russia, has a lot of upheaval in their
Mhm.
governments.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to, and with 22 to 1 P ratio and everyone betting pot lately, it's not
Yeah.
too surprising that the air is coming out of the balloon a little bit.
I agree. I agree.
You know,
And we've had a really good run into the market. And I think the more significant pullback we're going to get, the better setup for the longs.
yeah, some guy was on TV. He made a good sense. He said the first half of the year could be very rough because you're dealing in tariffs, and the second half of the year could be much better because you're dealing with tax cuts. It's
I agree.
something to be said
I
about that.
agree. Oh my gosh, that is so well said.
Yeah, let's look at two other quitters. One is MicroStrategy and Bitcoin, because I think both of those guys quit at 100K and at 360. So let's put that up, MSTR, and
Oh,
then the Bitcoin.
MSTR, sorry.
Yeah, now it's called
Okay.
Strategy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we had this big breakout here
Yeah,
in 2024. So this was last year. We went all the way to 500, what have you here, 550. But this was also a big measured move because if you look, for example, at the retracement, let me show you something really cool here. So we go here into this. No, what's the steepest point here? Okay, we go to the steepest point here. This was literally overextended. It was the last extension of the fib. There's nothing air. There's nothing but air above. So we knew that this was the end of the move. However, during the first pullback, I kept on watching it and I'm like, man, something is going to happen because there is so much price contraction here. So I was looking for the long never kicked in here over 335 or so, but pretty much, it just broke to the downside. I would be watching it on the next support level here at 261. If it doesn't hold, then the 200 SMA in sync with this 1.272 fib. This is what I'm going to be looking at probably for the next buy. We also had a buy here as well back in November. So, but definitely very choppy, very choppy action.
It's a lot nicer to buy a stock like that when it's rising. When you're buying it down here and it's been falling, it's a different situation than last year. That is for sure. Me personally, I'm only interested if it starts breaking above 350, 360, because if you're going to make big money on it and it's going to go to 400 or 500 again, obviously it's got to go through 350. And if it can't do that, you don't know what the heck you're buying down here, really.
Absolutely, because even if it pulls back, I mean, I would like it if it pulls back here, but you're going to have resistance from these lows here. So the price action needs to prove that it could go above this high and grind higher. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And I also like to look at monthly charts because they offer a lot more clarity. And we have like an inside bar and then selling down. So we could definitely see much more selling going on. Even on the quarterly chart, you can see here we still have about a month left, right, of this quarter, and we're leaving a huge tail, which means that there's a lot of selling pressure that is coming in. And also look at this volume, it's rather low compared to what we had here within the prior quarter. So definitely under a lot of pressure.
And the comps are going to be a little bit tougher in Q2 when they start looking at the Q1 earnings.
Yeah.
Because you get the feeling people have stopped spending money a little bit, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And inflation is high. Hey, Jim, it's the eggs.
Yeah, no, it's not the eggs for me. I gave up eggs a long time ago. And I don't go to Waffle House often, so that's not a risk.
I know, me neither.
They want 50 cents more for your eggs. I mean, like they can't make it up on coffee or something else you buy. Got to buy a pie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I know. I saw that on TV.
Now let's take a look at the gold because, in my view, 29.75 is an important level. If it takes that out, Goldman thinks. Goldman thinks it's going to 3,100. Certainly could, but I'm thinking if it breaks 29.50 and 29.25, you could pull back quite nicely about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because everything else is reverted to the mean. Why shouldn't this revert to the mean?
Right. I know the gold is so strong. It's just
very strong. You don't step in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just can't wait for Musk to go to Fort Knox and see if the gold is there and count it.
These guys think every day is a TV show. You know what I mean?
It is. It is so entertaining.
Where's the camera? Which camera's on me now? As soon as they walk out of the house, you know what
I mean? I know. I just want to go with them to Fort Knox, and I want to be looking at the stock. I want to be looking at gold stocks, and I want to be looking at gold futures. I just can't wait to see the movement and the volatility that news is going to produce.
Do you remember when? Do you remember when Geraldo was going after Al Capone's vault?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of, that when they're going to Fort Knox looking to see if the gold's there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what it is. That's what it is.
So give me some of your other favorite stocks. A lot of them are blooms off the rose. I mean, I did very well with JP Morgan. I know you used to like that a lot, but I mean, the blooms off the rose there. Where would you look at possibly you're entering? Maybe 255, 270 or?
In gold?
No, JPM. Let's look at some stuff.
Oh my gosh, JPM. Yeah. JP Morgan, I think it's due to pull back a little bit more. I would love to see it above the 20 SMA. Ideally, I see that currently it has this 4-bar pullback. Let's see if it does another leg down. I love financials, but these were wild. These were like the Energizer Bunny from
Yeah,
earnings mid-January, just and then never got me a chance to actually benefit from this move. Like it was literally taking off every single day without any kind of pullback. So now I'm finally happy that it's creating a pullback. I
yeah,
don't know at this point whether I'm going to buy it or not. Maybe if it trades tomorrow, I doubt it that it's going to do this. But if tomorrow we're going to get a rotation over today's high, maybe we're going to be looking at an attempt for a reversal. But remember how these attempts of reversal, they're all sometimes deceiving because they could just run for a little bit and then they can establish a lower high and then create like new lows. So
right.
this is very difficult right now because we don't have any kind of confirmation or security in the market that, the price action is going to go either or. We don't know. We
Yeah.
literally don't know what's going to happen. So
Th-
as far as JP Morgan goes, I'm going to watch it tomorrow. I typically like to see pullbacks of 3 to 5 bars. I think that the best setups are happening off of the 3 and 5 bars. Currently, we're at 4 bars. I think that we still have another leg lower before we do a rotation.
There's some stocks that have earnings still coming out this week. One is OKTA. Was it Okta?
Uh-huh.
What do you think of that? OKTA? Because they got earnings
Okay.
coming out. Yeah, they come earning out, and I
Mhm.
got them into some support
Here,
right
here.
here. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd almost like to do a call right here if it's going to hold the low, which comes in at 88.85,
Yeah.
which was the low today. And believe me, I have a number right there, and that is generally a very good place to take a shot. And I'm sure the calls are pretty cheap because the market's in the dump. And if they
Yeah.
come out with good earnings, even if it just popped to 95 or 97, a short-term call would really scream, I think.
I think so too. I think
But could
so
it
too.
stop there? Do you think it might stop there?
Well, here's the
Yeah, you
thing.
got a line right there too, don't you?
I do. So I think that if it takes out 93.50 to 94, I'm gonna go for it. I might go for it. I might
Yeah,
go for it. But I need to see this price printed
yeah,
before I do anything. So you know what I like? I like the fact that it went down and it created this bottoming tail. To me, this is buying pressure coming in. So
yeah.
it was like a glass half full, right?
Right.
Because it was red and then half of the red was erased. That's
Yeah,
what I think.
I'm looking at the options that expire on Friday. For
Mm-hmm.
those of you who've got the gambling gene in you,
Uh-huh.
the 90 calls are going for 232. If it were to pop $5 quickly, they would go maybe up as high as 7. So that would be the one that I would be focused on, or the 91 calls for a dollar and a half.
Uh-huh.
So those, and they expire Friday. So that's for Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. But you're not going to lose a lot at 156. It's not a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
and if it pops back up. So in other words, sometimes the people who do these short-term options, this would be the time to maybe take a shot. If this 88.90 is the low, and they're going to have decent earnings, then you could get a bounce up. If not, you're going to be out the limited risk. But obviously, if they do and it pops back up, these are the ones that could expand in premium the most. So
Yep.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Who else is coming out this week that might be interesting? The energy one. Oh, how about Best Buy? BBY.
BBY. Yeah. Best Buy. I'm torn about this one. I really don't like it that much.
Yeah.
It's super, super choppy. But I'm going to share something with you that I just found out like a couple hours ago. I was scanning before I had a presentation before from 5 o'clock, and I was scanning before that. So I just wanted to kill some time. And you know what I've noticed? That insurance companies are very solid. Let me show you a stock here, HIG.
Oh yeah, Hartford.
Yes, look
Yeah.
at Hartford here.
I used to have a client who used to have a lot of it. He was from Hartford and he used to
Oh,
swear by this
really?
company.
I think this is very,
Yeah.
very interesting. It already reported earnings, so it's into the clear. We don't have to worry with, some shock waves. And I think this is so strong. I mean, it's holding support. It has another layer of support, and basically for the last 2.5 weeks or so, it has been holding above the 200 SMA. I like the fact here that right after earnings, it came in and then it zipped back up. It created that nice tail, Buying pressure came back in. Look at the buying that came in here. So this is, pretty nice. I like the volume is pretty constant here today. We had a little bit of pop of volume compared to what we had in the prior days. So I have it on really, really high watch over 115.
Exactly. I was going to say I would be interested when it
Yeah,
breaks 115.
yeah, for
Otherwise,
sure. No,
with Murphy's luck following
no.
me, I'll buy it here and then it'll stop at 115.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather buy it at 115 on its way or 116 on its way to 122 than buy it
I
here and
agree.
find out it can't get through the ceiling. Because I've seen
Oh,
it
I
time and
agree.
time again. I'll show you one that I was watching that
Yeah.
couldn't get through the ceiling. IBM.
Oh, I'm in
Shimmy,
IBM as
shimmy. No, no,
well.
no. So I'm sorry. Different one. Boeing.
BA. Okay.
Yeah, watch Boeing. Yeah, that's the one. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah, I like it over 189.
Exactly. If we can get to
I
192, it's gonna fly like an eagle. It's gonna fly like
know.
an eagle, and it's got a
I know.
great chart pattern. You know what I mean?
I
But
love it.
if if it can't get above 192, you're
Nope.
never going to make any big money on it. So it's
Nope.
something that you have to monitor because you'll wake up 6 months from now and it'll say it's trading at 240, and you go, I thought that thing was going to go up.
This is
Yeah.
why you like it at 192 because I saw it. We have the 200 SMA at 192, and once it breaks
Yeah.
the 200 SMA,
Yeah.
it's flying. It's
Yeah.
really flying.
Yeah, because
It's
I'm sure
gonna take off.
the news would probably change at that point too, which would feed it. You know what I mean? There'll probably
Oh
be
yeah, 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 for
some
sure.
reason for it. Let's look at Apple because they had a nice report there about this, that, and the other, and
Yeah.
people like to park somewhere. Maybe they'll park there. Plus, they're always buying
I'm
back. They're the biggest buyer back of their stock of any company by 10 miles.
mm-hmm.
These guys buy their stock back. The reason they have to do it is their growth rate is what, 3 or 4%, and they're trying to get a 30 PE. The only way you're going to do that is keep buying back your stock so the PE ratio can, be supported by less stock. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right, right. But I love the strength in it. Tomorrow
Oh yeah.
we have the shareholders meeting
Yeah.
with Apple, and that's what we want to see. Want to see, what their, let's say next goal is. Are they going to have new products? Are they going to come up with new stuff? I mean, this is what we want to see tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you have a 1 year graph up there? Because I did extremely well last
Yes.
year. Last year in June, they had a meeting where they were going to come out with their AI stuff. And I just thought it was going to scream. And it broke above 190 and it just went boom right to 240.
Yep. This is it.
And this
So
thing here, this
powerful.
thing here, this thing here could do something similar if they come up with something that catches the eye.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Plus, they're in
And
bed with
Apple,
Alibaba now over there.
Baba.
Yeah, they're in bed with Baba doing something, so their
Yeah.
Chinese sales might pick up.
Yep. Here's Baba today. Baba, down almost 9%, 8.4% down
Yeah, but
today.
that was my biggest winner all year. I bought calls at 90, expiring
Ooh,
in April, which is not even expired yet. And I never thought it would go in the money by $55, but it did.
wow.
And so that's one of the reasons we like to buy limited risk options is when you get on the right ride, you can really get a ride. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
The weekly is still powerful, and any kind of pullback could potentially be bought in this one. It just escaped the 50 SMA on the monthly. The quarterly chart, it just tagged this support here. So could be potential, could take off. Could take
Yeah.
off.
How about a
Yeah.
big guy? How about a big guy that's trading at a discount? Google. I see a very good buy zone between 172 and about 180. Do you
I
see
do
a
too.
Yeah.
I do too. I do too. I really like it. So here's the longer
When you can get
uh
when you get good stocks at a discount, you can't look the other way, right?
oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because
I
most
mean,
of the time they're going up.
if you like exactly, if you like Google at 200, you're gonna like it when it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. I was actually watching this, looking at this stock this weekend, and I did some fibs on this, and guess what? The 170 to 177 here, very appealing. They could potentially rotate around this area, especially that we have a rising 50. And by the way, take a look at the how it loves the 50. It loves to bounce off the 50. This was back in September. This pullback was back in March. Here we had a very shallow pullback, and this was on earnings. and it kept very, very strong, but it really likes, and here is another one from 2023 April. So it really loves this 50 SMA. So I'm thinking maybe it's going to pull back to the 50. It's going to rotate.
What number's at 50?
177.64.
There you go. Right in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Here's another one that I told people, believe me, they all revert to the mean. I don't care what you tell me. They all revert to the mean.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even the prettiest girl comes back to the crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Palantir, PLTR.
Oh, yes.
And it has reverted to the mean. So rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater, let's go through it. 41% of their business comes from the government. But what they do for the government is make it more efficient. That's not one thing they're going to cut. Secondly, this guy Thiel was one of the biggest contributors to Trump. He's not going to bite the hand that fed him. And so
No.
now at 85, $90, if you ever wanted to play ball, is this the place to play ball?
You know what? I think that today it had a really big move to the downside, more than 13% down. I will start watching it. I
Yeah.
always like to act on smaller candles. I think these are still huge volatility candles. I'm willing to wait a little bit longer. And I think that PLTR is one to watch for the rest of the year.
Yeah, because there's some highs there that came in
Yep.
at 85 back
Mm-hmm.
in December 23rd. And I've got on my 5-year graph, I've got a moving average coming in at 85. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at 85 as a
Yep.
neighborhood that it might be an interesting place to
Exactly.
take a look at it, because I don't think it's going to have a full Monty down to 70 or 55 again. Do you think
No.
it's not going to round turn that
I don't
far?
think so. I don't think so. And also, it loves the 50 SMA here. So we're very close to that. And take a look, it's at the 618 fib. So around the 85, 86 area.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yes. Like everyone's leaving the movie theater, you're walking in.
We're buying.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone can't wait to get. Somebody yelled out fire at 1:30, and now you're saying no, no fire 85. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. I
Uh,
love PLTR and I think that it's worth the watch. I would definitely like to see like smaller candles like here or like here that provides us with a tighter risk. I would definitely love that.
what about ARM? You know, it's kind of in the background now, and it got hit here again.
I didn't
I don't
look at
know. It
this
doesn't look
stock
that
for
great, does it?
such a long time. I don't
Actually,
know. Kind of like lost its volume, so not a
yeah,
lot of people interested in it. I don't know
yeah.
what the deal is. Very choppy, by the way. And the bigger picture is the breakout this year. So I think the theme is over 183. That's what's gonna push it over the highs. So far it has been so choppy, so sideways. This is the monthly chart. Too choppy, too sideways. Weekly chart again, too much chop. Too much chop. I don't even like the daily chart because it's so irritating, choppy, but it's interesting that it's holding, but I can't pinpoint an entry. Definitely, I see it over 175, and once it takes the 175, it could go higher, but it needs to prove that it could go higher.
What about this Starbucks? This guy who came over from Chipotle, he's closed the
I'm
bathroom
in.
down, and he's just taking a machete to the excess people there, and he's over in
Yeah.
the Arab world opening up stuff. It looks like it on a long-term basis. It
I
might be able
even
to even
love
take out that highs. I don't know.
I am in Starbucks, so I'm still keeping it. I had a big surprise on Friday when it actually broke out from the week long resistance. So it broke out a little bit higher and it's holding the highs. I mean, there is no doubt about it. What I do like as well is the monthly chart, because the monthly chart, the fact that we have been consolidating so strong here for quite an impressive time is basically showing us that it's oops, let me go back here. It's showing us that we're basically chewing this prior high, and once we chew this prior high, I think that we definitely have room to 120, 125. And I'm staying in. I have
Now
my
we have.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying I mean, it's just and the product is addictive, so you can't beat that, right? Uh,
Right, for sure.
now we've got the fires in LA and home sales are tanking. So if nobody's buying homes and people's homes have been ruined, is there an opening for Home Depot on the dip here down to 375 or 350 where you'd say that's a buy zone?
What's that?
Home Depot between
Oh,
350 and
okay.
375. I mean, we got
Sorry, you broke
all
out.
those home,
Yeah.
yeah, all those homes have to be replaced, and nobody's
Yeah.
buying a new home. So if
No,
obviously they're going to fix up their homes, and they still got three
I
percent
agree.
mortgage, and they still got 3% mortgages.
I agree. I agree. So it's going to report earnings. When is tomorrow? Is it before the open or after the open? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it would be interesting to see. I think it's back to support. It's back to the 200 SMA. If we look to the left-hand side, we see big support level here that is holding. Oops, that's too wide. Okay. So I think that we may be getting ready for a surprise. I don't even know why it pulled back. Like honestly, I don't really know why it pulled back.
Well, I think it pulled back because of some of the consumer numbers. Retail sales are way down, which means people aren't
Yeah,
buying anything. And obviously, it is a consumer discretionary. You don't have to buy a
it
hammer.
is.
Well, maybe you do have to
True.
buy a hammer.
Yeah.
Here's another one on for dear life. United Healthcare.
You went, oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this.
I know, I know. These guys have a bullet with their name. They got a bullet with their name on it, don't you think?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah. This is a monster. It's basically trading into the same support level since 2021.
yeah,
So it's been ranging since then. It's super, super choppy. I like the only thing, when I'm day trading, for example, I look at UNH because it's such a big component of the Dow. And when we have a little bit of strength in UNH, definitely contributes to a bigger hold in the Dow for futures. And that's the only thing that I do with UNH. I'm not trading it. The price point is crazy, $400 stock. And it's too choppy for me. I don't know whether it's going to break it, break to the upsides, break the lows. Last week was insane. Take a look at this massive, massive, massive move that it had. It was down more than, I don't know, 8%, 9% down. Um, Today, a little bit of a hold pattern, a small inside bar on the daily. I think there's going to be a lot of speculation according to this bar here. And I used to trade this when I was a little bit in my very aggressive years. I think it's bearish under 457, and it could be going for a short squeeze above 468.30. Let's say 469 because it's so freaking volatile. But it could potentially do this squeeze here because we have that narrow range candle, and the biggest moves come from these narrow range candles. And today we had a tiny, tiny, like the market was red, everything was dripping. And I agree, we were weak in UNH, but um it didn't really drop that much. It held, and we are still trading on support. We no matter what it is, that 450 area, 430 area, 400 area is still support. I think that it favors more the downside because number one, it's a red bar. Number two, we closed towards like the very bottom, like we don't the at the bottom of the bar, we don't have a tail of any sort. So that means that the volume came straight down and it wasn't able to lift. So that means that if we open tomorrow and when we open, if we take out the low of today, there's a very strong chance that we're going to get back into the low here and even going lower than that. So this is support. Look at the support here. Okay.
yeah.
And if we break,
Yeah. I looked at a long-term graph. If you look at a long-term graph, boy, there is a collapse potential if they really went after them.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So for example, this is the monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could go like, wow. And
Let's
even
check.
when it's at $200, I don't think I'm gonna buy it.
No, no, that's falling knife all the way.
I know
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Like I
All
don't think
right.
I'm gonna
Let's look at your ideas on crude oil, the actual crude oil. I guess
the
you do
actual
CLH or whatever
CL.
month you want to
Yeah,
take.
yeah, yeah.
And then look at XLE because it appears to me that if 70 can hold up, which is a big if,
Mhm.
and it gets moving ever above 80, XLE would have quite a bit of potential because I got a lot of moving averages under the price and rising.
Right. So I have to say that I do not like oil at all. I think it's still trading on support. 65 is still support. 80 is
Right.
still resistance. And as
Right.
long as the price action is going to remain within this range, I don't think we're going to get anything that is going to be really prime, for an explosion, either to the upside or to the downside. I don't know. So my take on oil that it may go a little bit higher only if it takes out the 200 SMA. Until then, I'm going to be sitting on my hands with oil.
What about
Um,
XLE though?
XLE is different. Okay, XLE is different. XLE range bound,
Yeah.
it could explode over $98. Like I think that it could really, really go higher. What I do like is the quarterly chart because it looks explosive. We have a prior high, which is the all-time high here, and this is from 2014. I did a, a really thorough analysis on the sectors with a client of mine. And so we went through this. This is definitely something to watch. Uh, I don't like it because it doesn't move that much. So you can find some other stocks that are, in patterns that could potentially,
Yeah.
break out, or you can make a lot of more money in those than in XLE. But definitely, this is solid. It shows that it may break out over this level. It's really, really, really strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Devon Energy was very kind to me. It went down to about $30. The options were going for like $1 and it ran up to 37. Look at Devon. I think it's all tapped out though around 40.
Yes.
DVN.
Yeah.
But it was a nice little run there. It doesn't look like
Nice little
much.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the options are cheap, it doesn't take much.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
But it does
Pretty
look
good.
like it is a little tapped out on that double high right there, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. It is double top formation, confirmation that the high has been formed. And not only that, but look at the rejection level. So technical. So, so technical. We have low, low, high, high right here. But I do think, looking at the pattern, here's a clue. We have a low and we have a higher low. We have tested resistance. I think with any kind of shallow pullback, we're ready to go to the 200 SMA into the $40, 40, 41. So if we do like a shallow pullback, or even tomorrow we do a rotation, I think that, this time that we spend here into resistance, from February 18th, 20th, 21st, and today, it just shows that we are compressing in here. So we can escape and go back to the 200 SMA.
Now here's one I know you followed, and I'm sure you did quite well with it. Is Robinhood, HOOD, because
Oh,
it's
I
pulled
love
right.
that. Yeah.
It pulled right back to where this would be the buy zone. Because if this area
Yep.
drops, it could drop another 20, 50, $10 pretty quick.
Did you
So
know that I have see this horizontal line here? I had an alert when it was trading. So right after earnings, I had it on watch because we had this inside candle and I was looking for inside and out, but I never got triggered into it. So I had my order at 66.20 and it never triggered,
thank
unfortunately.
God. Oh, you wanted to
I
sell it up there. I thought you were trying to buy it up there. No, yeah, sell it
know.
up
I
there
was
would have been
looking.
lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know. I would have liked it over these highs here with a tight risk of $60. And for another like higher, I've seen these patterns work so often with
Mm.
the inside compression and out. But right now, I think that it's, we have definitely a massive level of support here at $44, the area where we broke this year in January. But this is another layer of support that we have here around the 50 SMA. And this one also likes the 50 SMA, consolidating here just above the 50 SMA back in January. Another touchdown on November 1st into the 50 SMA, coiling around the 50 SMA right here in September. So I really think that, based on this pullback, we may see one nice rotation. And it was trading rather sloppy. I mean, it was up, it was down, up, down, up, down, up, down, grinding higher. But I think this time around it has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bar pullback. So what that means is that if tomorrow the price gets above $54, it could potentially start moving back up. I have it on my watch list.
Yeah.
to,
Otherwise, somewhere between 44 and 50, something like that. That
yeah,
neighborhood. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
underneath there is a real trap door all the way down to $35 to me.
yeah.
So that wouldn't be very good. Do you have any other stocks you're kind of following lately that you're kind of keeping your eye on?
I have some stocks. Well, first of all, I have these stocks that are, hold on a second, because I've done some scanning and I did put them on a watch list here. And just let me get to them. And all right, so, okay, here's one, GOOS. This is Canada Goose.
Yeah,
All right.
I saw that on Skyon's thing. Yeah, Michael Burry I think's into this.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
no, no, no.
Yeah, it's on his 13F filing. I always look at the 13F to see what
Really?
the grass is on the other side of the fence. You know what I mean? And sometimes they have some interesting holdings. And obviously, that was one of the reasons I got so bullish on China is because of Tepper
Yeah.
and Burry. But
Oh,
yeah, I saw this
interesting.
goose and I go, I don't know what the hell goose. What is this people do?
They make like winter jackets and
Okay,
such.
okay.
So, yeah, so clothing line, I think they diversified. I don't really know. I don't have a Canada Goose jacket, but I know they're very expensive. They're like $1,000 or $1,500 or even more for a winter jacket. So
Do they include a bottle of Grey Goose when you buy it or?
Oh my gosh, yes, that's a requirement. Yeah, I just Googled it right now. So women's jacket right now it's and not even a winter jacket, but it's like $895. Here's a jacket 1550. So yeah, look, they have boots, so they have all sorts of things.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the brand.
yeah,
But I'm a fan of the pattern. But look at the buying today. I mean, what's going on? I don't know what's going
yeah.
on. I have to check and see what the heck, because this is not earnings. Take a look what happened into earnings. It went down. It went back into support, and now it rallied. Look at today's rally. This is incredible.
Wow. Yeah, yeah,
Uh, yeah, so it does have a really huge potential of coming back up at least to $14, $15. And if it triggers above that, it could have like a really
yeah.
big momentum. So this is one of the stocks that I ran into. The other one is ENFN. Okay, this is what I have on my list. This is one that broke, and again, this is very thin, so this is on watch. Very thin, but it broke out. Look at the size of these candles, really, really shallow. And again, this is more volatile. This is so volatile. I love the price point in it. Not many stocks you see at $10 or $11, right? So I'm gonna watch this
No.
one. I also want to watch it on the weekly because I think it may be getting ready for that rounded bottom.
Oh boy, yeah. On
Yeah,
the 5 year graph, which I guess is your weekly, boy, there's nothing
yeah,
but white area up there, huh?
exactly, exactly. So,
And it's following that. I have a 12 SMA I'm looking at, and that is
uh-huh.
following it like a people in a line. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's a little bit of resistance here, and I think that's why we're holding into this space. But I think I think it may be getting ready to run. So
Accelerate to the upside.
accelerate. Let's
Yeah.
accelerate. The
And
next one,
let's see what
yeah.
the let's just see what the RSI is doing. Yeah, see this RSI is in like the mid 60s. This kind of a
Hmm.
number on RSI, it's either going to what? Boom, accelerate, and you'll see 76 on the RSI, or it might be topping here. So it's going to be a binary thing, don't you think?
I think so. Either or.
Yeah, but it looks like obviously the odds and the cards are favoring the upside for sure.
I like the upside. I don't like
Yeah.
the fact that it's so thin, but I like the upside. I like that rounded bottom.
Did you ever buy something like at 6, it goes to 12, and then take the 6 off the table and buy a call option?
I never do options and
Oh, okay.
I don't do the
Yeah.
RSI
Yeah, well,
either.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying, well, like, say
Yeah.
you bought that thing for 6 and it goes to 12. Obviously,
Yeah.
you got $6 in your pocket. You want to stay
Hmm.
with it, but you don't want to walk away with no money if it goes back to 8 or something. So
Oh yeah.
you take your 6 off the table, and you can buy a $12 call right now for like $100. So that's all your
Hmm.
risk if it keeps going. Sometimes I use options to what they call replace other trades to risk manage. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. What else
Um,
you got? What else you got up your sleeve?
okay, I have ETR.
Let's look at that.
Okay, I don't have many, but this is, I mean, I have to say that the market is not providing really good setups at all. Okay, so I have this one here, which is following the 10 EMA. The weekly chart, I do like it, even though it's a little bit extended from the 10 EMA, but it's trying to hold into last week's low. So I like this one for the potential for higher. I like the volume that is picking up here. I mean, look how it came, it came pretty consistent, compared to Friday. So it came back nicely. I think it could potentially be a buy. So again, not a lot of names, not a lot of big names um, so I scanned and I didn't see any big name for that
Yeah.
matter that was lining up. So, and I have
What do
one
you got?
more. I have SOLV. Oops. SOLV. Here we go. All right, take a look at this one. The only problem that I see in this one is that it's going to report earnings this week on the 27th. So I'm not going to buy it, but look at the breakout here.
Well, it does. It looks like a breakout, doesn't it? And
I know. It's
yeah,
so beautiful.
I call it a traffic jam because I've got these averages and they come in at 74, 74, 72, and 71. That's
Hmm.
a traffic
Hmm.
jam. And traffic
Yeah.
jams don't last. And it's trading 76. So obviously it looks like the traffic jam is breaking to the upside.
Hmm.
And there's
Hmm.
nothing above it to stop it.
Look at this. This is the weekly.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't, let's look at that. Yeah.
The weekly is
Yeah.
bomb. It's
Yeah.
just so beautiful.
Yeah. What do they do for work? Do you know?
No idea.
Yeah.
No
Just,
idea. I didn't look into it.
yeah. Because whatever they're
Many
doing,
times,
yeah.
yeah. Many times I trade names that I have no idea what they're doing. But what I do is I look from the technical standpoint. I look at the volume. I
Yeah,
look at the
sure.
pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. But
I
I
kind of like to
love
know what
this.
sector they're in, you know what I mean, to see if it's got a reason. Or they could just have specific news, and this kind of company could have just some specific news that's hitting it, you know?
Oh, I can check. I can
Yeah.
check. Let me just fire up. I'm gonna check right now. Okay, let's see. News. All right, let's see this one. Okay, SOLV. It's not giving me anything.
Not too much.
Yeah, let's check it out again. SOLV.
Does it trade 1 million shares a day, or how many shares a day does it trade?
Um, let's see.
Volume.
Oh, it's a biomed one.
Ah, there you go. They're
No.
gonna they're gonna come out with something that's in stage
Yeah,
3 or whatever they call that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, I know you do all different futures. How about look at those grains? I'm trying to see if soybeans are in the bottom area at $9 or $10 a bushel.
You know what? I have not traded commodities in forever. Like seriously. I mean, like grains. I mean, like
I got you. So
agriculture
most of
products.
your futures are going to be on. Yeah,
No, if I
your
see a
futures are
pattern,
mostly on
like
gold. Okay.
yeah. Look, if I see a pattern in corn or soybeans or what have you, yeah, I'm taking it. But I had a trade in natural gas last week
Okay.
and I have copper on watch. That's pretty much it. I went through grains, I didn't like anything, so yeah, I'm done. I mean, look at the patterns. I mean, it is a mess.
Yeah.
And this is a weekly chart, right?
Yeah.
They're stuck in here at 1081.
Yeah.
If it breaks 1081, it might go higher, but not too much. It
Yeah.
goes into 1100. That's pretty much it, the extent of the move. Because we're running into this resistance here. We have a double bottom formation. I don't know. I think that the 50 SMA is so strong here, but I don't know. It could break the 1080. If it breaks the 1080, it's worth a shot, but it's less than 1 R into resistance. So I
Yeah.
doubt that I'm gonna do anything with it. Yeah.
If it breaks out of that group, what's making me interested is that line way above, and if we got a reversion to the mean, and
Yeah.
that's why the only contract I'm interested in is the November.
The November one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
simply
don't have the
because
November here.
yeah,
Yeah.
then I'll have the planting season, the growing
Yep.
season, and harvest. So if I
Yes.
can't win on one of those seasons, it's never going to happen. But
Yep.
this is the kind of thing that Burry likes to do as well. You like to look at things that are discounted that could possibly revert to the mean or have some kind of a short covering or something. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And they are planting a lot more corn, I guess, because corn's almost like $4 or $5 a bushel. I remember back in the day it was $2, and if you never traded futures before, they started you on corn because it never moved.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let
um,
me put the corn here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is corn.
yeah,
Yeah. See, now corn got into a little bit of a trend here. So corn could potentially go
go
very
after.
close.
Yeah.
We have these lows here, May 15 low and the mid-July low. Okay, so we have these two bottoms here at 550. It could potentially go to 550, but so far it has plateaued into the 500.
Another
Yeah.
company has earnings coming out this week that nobody talks about very much is Dell. Do you think Dell's got anything going on? Today was
I
down like
love to
everything.
trade this stock. Yeah, I love to trade this stock. Um, it's a weekly chart here. I think it really needs to get above these MAs here. And I think over 125 or so, if earnings is going to push it over 125-ish
Yeah.
zone, it could potentially go higher. I like it. I
And
often traded.
yeah, well, like I say, when all that AI gets into your personal computer and all that kind of stuff, they're going to be the ones to give you the new box. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And it's
Yeah.
reporting Thursday after the close. You know what's
Zscan,
interesting?
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got?
You know what's interesting? Fubo.
Oh, I've been watching that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
I get a list of the top 25 stocks in the S&P, the Nasdaq, and then the
Mhm.
Russell. And I look at the Russell ones, and a lot of them are up like 200% this year so far, or 150. And
Crazy.
Fubo and Noodles is always on the list. I don't know what
Yep.
Noodle. Yeah.
No idea what it's doing. Okay, so Fubo, I have an alert here. I'm not going to be trading it into earnings, but this is so interesting. Look at this breakout, potential breakout, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy, crazy.
No, that looks. I was on this one, and then let's look at Noodles. I don't even know if it's N. Let's put it up
What's
there.
the
I'll find it.
ticker?
I'll get it for you. Hold on. Noodles is
Uh,
NDLS. No,
oh,
yeah, that
yes.
Russell's got a lot of wild stocks in it.
Yeah, yeah, crazy. I know. Okay, so back to, and again, it's back to the base. Oh, I love the price in this. I haven't looked at this
Yeah,
stock in like forever.
yeah,
Oh,
but
this is beautiful.
it was hitting the big mover list. That's what it hit my eye. But I think Fubo looks like the best deal out of all of them because that's
Yeah,
a nice looking chart, huh?
I know. Fubo looks really good.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, we got about 5 minutes left. I'd like you to get some time to explain how you help people with their trading. I know you got the trading room, you got a lot of different ways to help people. So, why don't you explain how they can get some information and what you can do?
Okay, so if anybody in here is interested in trading stocks in the power hour, I just focus basically in the first hour and a half in the morning. We open the trading room at 9 o'clock, obviously, to do the pre-market game plan. I usually come on the microphone a little bit later because for some reason, all the news is coming out after 9 o'clock. So I don't want to miss anything before I go on the mic and start trading because then I don't have time to listen and watch anything because all I'm focused on is price action and setups. So I open the room at 9 o'clock. This is the futures trading room. I come on the mic usually around 9:20, 9:15 to 9:20. We do the pre-market game plan. We look at the economic releases. We look at earnings. And we look at possible bias for the day. We try to identify some setups. And other than that, we look for the best possible setup because trading is not about making money. And when we decide to trade, we don't, come out and say, hey, I want to make $5,000 in a day. No, we come in the trading day saying that we want to identify the best setup for the day. And if you have the perfect setup, then you have to trade. You don't have the perfect setup, then you don't have to trade. And definitely you're not going to make that money that day. But not making money in a day and, not, at the same time, not losing money in a day is also a good idea because you're preserving your capital. So you're not putting your capital at risk in a really terrible environment. So I trade. We have a really large following. We have a huge group of people that are in the trading room. I share all my trades on the mic. We do a lot of analysis. I pinpoint where I'm buying, the index or a commodity, where I'm placing my stop, where I'm placing the target. And I trail live on the mic. So for the duration of the trade, you're not left hanging. So I trade live on the mic, and we have 4 plans from which traders can choose from. Traders that don't know where to start and how the trading room is like. We have a $25 pass for the trader that has wants to find out more about us and how we trade during the week. We have a 1 week pass, then we have a monthly pass, and for traders that are really committing and growing their accounts and having a stable environment as to, and you will also get, a lot of education and a lot of experience trading with me. I've been trading for over 23 years now. So they can opt for the yearly plan. So that is the futures trading room. That's my focus for the day. But a lot of people, what they don't know is that I'm mostly a swing trader than a day trader. So I day trade for income, but I swing trade for wealth, how I like to say. And I do take a lot of swing trades. We have a program. It's called the Stock Swing Trader. And this is actually the oldest program. It is 14, no, it's 15 years old. 15 years old. It was created in 2010. And it was the first program that TradeOut came with, and it's very, 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 very popular. And basically, this is where you swing into trading just 10 minutes a day. I do all the work. I send out an email on Monday night that has all the information in for our members. It has the earnings calendar, it has the news calendar, how these earnings are going to affect the stocks and the stock market, how the economic calendar is going to affect the stock market. And I do a very thorough analysis. You get a written, pretty much script for what's expected from the market during the week. And also we do an analysis of what has happened in the prior week. We also are getting a video with the market analysis, and then you're getting the watch list. And the watch list is pretty much, a lot how we have discussed in here, with stocks that I have on watch. I do my homework, obviously, every weekend, and I scan through a lot of stocks. And that's pretty much it. So if anybody's interested, just go to our website, which is tradeoutloud.com. Thanks so
Okay.
much, David, for putting it in there.
Okay, so everything's good there, and you should definitely take advantage of getting a hold of Anka and seeing what she could do for you, because she has a lot of happy customers from what she's been doing. So I know she can help. Real quick on Option Professor, if you're interested in options, we have we have a situation where you get an options master class. I give ideas every Sunday night, and you get coaching all in one-stop shop. You can go to my email, optionprofessor@gmail.com. Tell me you're interested. Again, I've been trading options for decades, so I've traded thousands of them. There's a pretty good chance I could help you with whatever trading you're doing in options. So that's all it is. Anka, very good to be with you. We'll be again soon, I guess. And again, good luck on all your trades, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, and have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much, David. I'll see you guys next
All right.
time.
Thanks, Anka. All right. Yeah, great analysis tonight. So just a quick reminder, we are doing this at the new 7 p.m. Eastern time spot. So we're gonna do this for at least the next couple months. So be sure to join us every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Timing Research. Also, if you search for Timing Research on YouTube, Substack, or your favorite podcast app, you can find the recordings there. And um, just a reminder, too, I want to thank my guests again for tonight. Anka Metcalf of TradeOutLoud.com, and the Option Professor of OptionProfessor.com. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Anka.
Thanks so much, David.